Business in the Front, episode 3. Let's roll.
Dude, so I actually liked where you were going with that, discussing when we met.
That's a good one.
Yeah, just like worlds collide, I guess. Let's talk about that for a second, just origin story, right? And then I want to get into more about you, but what were you doing there in my office?
Yeah, we were just talking about this. This was way back, 2023, I guess was what
I guess so.
2023, December.
Seems way too long, but yeah.
Yeah, and December was my first year in the business, and I think this had to be my 5th closing. So I was a little nervous, and funny enough, the way I got this deal, I was doing that's how a big way I was able to get a lot of business early on, a lot of door knocking. I don't know if I ever mentioned that to you.
No, we can talk about that.
We'll get into that. Not my favorite thing to do, but
Sure.
it's good. And so this neighbor that I had ended up meeting, his mom unfortunately passed away, lived a few doors down, and his brother was the executor. So the whole time I never met this guy, he ended up saying, here's my brother's info, and we talked about it, put his house up, and got it sold. And so I was there. So I was real nervous, and I was 19 at the time, and so I've never met this family, never met these people, and then all of a sudden this sharp, well dressed young guy comes up to me, goes, What the hell are you doing here? Like, what are you doing, buddy? And I'm like, waiting for a closing. Probably really didn't know what I was doing. And that guy threw his business card on the table, ended up leaving a little bit of a mark on me, and that was DJ. And then we really just kind of stayed in touch ever since, and here we are. So what's meant to be is meant to be.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds way more heroic and like over the top than probably what it was, but I like that.
Well, I was young. At that point, like I said, I think that was my 5th deal ever. So I still really was, faking it till I made it at that point.
Sure.
And it was just nice having, because I'm sure you were in the same boat at one point. So
totally.
It was nice having somebody like that matching the energy, and kind of nobody else came up to me while I was in there. They probably thought I was a kid waiting for their parents to come close or something like that. And
probably.
You came up, and you came up, and here we are. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first 3 years in the industry, I said I'd been working for 3 years in the industry.
Okay, yeah. I'm still 5 years in.
Yeah, there you go.
No, yeah, but
that's it.
For sure. You're definitely faking it till you make it.
Yeah, you have to a little bit, especially if you're starting young. So did you go to college? Are you studying right now, or just fresh out of high school?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I think my whole thing was I always played I played football my whole life growing up. And college was only a thought for the aspect of playing football in college.
Okay.
So I played at Avongrove High School. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Sally's in Delaware.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sally's
I think we might have talked about that before, but Sally's, so we played them in sports and everything. But long story short, that was the only thing I'd ever thought about. And I ended up tearing my ACL freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year.
3 times?
2 on the left, 1 on the right.
Jeez, man.
And it was a blessing, though, because I never had thought, like I said, I never thought what I wanted to do if I wasn't playing football.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, statistically, if I go and play my senior year again, I don't want to tear it, right? So I kind of took that year to hang out with my buddies, have a good time, and it was definitely a year of learning. But my mom has been in the business for 10 plus years now.
Right.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the McKee Bosco Group. Have you ever heard of them?
No, you're my first connection with them.
Yeah. So they had sold my parents' house in Kennett Square when I was 7.
Okay.
And what happened from then is, we stayed in touch. We were real good friends for a while. My mom joined the team a few years later. And then after I tore my ACL that 3rd time, Mike McKee had hit me up and he said, hey, if you don't know what you're doing after school, get your license, join the team. My mom and I and his wife Liz will show you the ropes. And I said, well, I guess that's I don't have a better choice from there, right? So
sure.
I'm a very emotional and passionate guy about anything in football. Once that was taken away from me, it was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I really just started applying that to the business here, and it wasn't all. I thought it was gonna be all peaches and cream, make some money, have a good time, and learned quickly that that's not the case, right? But a few years later, loving it. So.
Good.
That's how we got into the business, yeah.
Good, man. I can feel your energy not only in the room now, but also how you present yourself online. I can feel like you're getting something out of it and you really like it. What's some of your favorite parts about the industry? I know that can be kind of a cheesy question, but try to single out some moments where you're like, oh, dang, this is cool.
I think one thing, and I by no means was I always relate everything back to like football with what I did.
Okay.
I think I always just loved being able to talk to people and help people out. I played quarterback, so that was kind of my gig on the team.
Nice.
And what I really take joy in now is just being able to really I like it. It's satisfying when you get, whether it's a buyer or a seller, just when they really feel happy and I guess take pride in what they were able to do from buy or sell, whatever it is. I love that. But I mean, it's very flexible as well. I'm sure. I think that's how it is for you guys too. But I really at first hated the social media stuff. And as you know, in our business in this day and age, that's one of the biggest things that we need to be doing.
Right.
Once I posted a few times, dude, I love it. So that's
cool.
like for me now, as you know, that takes some time blocking and a little bit of time. So I really feel like that's my favorite part of the job now.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
It's the creative aspect of it.
The creative. Because, so another thing that I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you, but so the first couple years in the business, my mom and I, we complement each other's games really well. And we do almost a partnership now is what we're doing.
Cool.
And the reason we came to that is we kind of always wanted to do that, but I was like, nope, I'm going to make it a little harder on myself. I want to learn all the ins and outs of the contracts, this and that.
Yeah.
Even though I never read a book in high school or anything at all until I got into this business. So I knew contracts and the papers, wasn't for me, so luckily, Lord willingly, my mom handles that now and she that's what she loves to do. Cool. So now what I do in our business model is the boots on the ground, showings, appointments and social media stuff. Yeah. And all that. So it's for me, I'm literally all in on marketing and building our brand, and Mama Bear kind of handles the rest, so it's a blessing. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you're actually doing like what I see to be the fun stuff, right? Like obviously it's so important to be doing the contracts and making sure that's all that's being met. But that's what gets everybody excited about the industry in general is going out to see the houses. Yeah. 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 It's cool. For sure. And it's the funny part is my mom hated that, Really? She was able, she got by, did a whole bunch of deals for the 10 years she's been in it, but she never liked that aspect. Her aspect that she loved was negotiating contracts and really helping people holding people's hand through that. Where for me it was like, dude, let me go out there, knock these doors, even though I hate it, make these videos, get uncomfortable and just get out there and be seen. And we found that each of those obviously carry quite their own value. So my mom and I were like, how can we only focus on what we're good at, and not only with what we're good at, but what we really like to do. Yeah. And since we kind of made that switch, things have really just taken off. So wild. So are you guys co-listing and co-buyer agents for every client? Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So we're starting. we're going to be starting a little team here at some point. And
very cool.
And that the whole system that I know a lot of people, they build teams to make a lot of money and scale, whatever. I truly like to, I have a lot of people and friends that are younger guys like me in the business that, we collaborate. And I love being able to, if I can share them a piece of information with them that one of those bigger guys, Mike McKee, Mike Ciancier, my mom was able to share with me that they didn't have. I feel like that's gold, and that's what I like to do. So when I can be able to do that consistently with, under my own umbrella of people, life will be even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't tell you how valuable it's been for me working with family. As a lender, you can't actually contractually co-sign. Yeah. Right. Like so you have to do it yourself. Okay. But I started the business, working with my cousin and my uncle. So my uncle, he's actually kind of on his way out now. He's been doing it over 40 years, but I've been doing it now 5, and he's been a significant presence in getting me started, and just a great perspective on the industry in general, coming from knowing just all that's happened in the last 40 years in our industry. It's crazy. Yeah. Because a lot's happened. You know what I mean? A lot. Yep. And then my cousin's been doing it about 10, so he's a great perspective too. And to have that sounding board at every step to be like, hey, am I doing this the right way? Is this the best way? What's the strategy? Yep. You start off with those tools. You're not starting from day one. You're starting from day whatever, because you have access to all this information.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think that was the same for me, being able to have those different. I mean, the people in your life always makes the biggest difference. And and when it's family, it's a lot of fun. But it's funny you say that you're 5 years. That's how you're 5 years.
I'm actually 5 years too. Like
me too. No.
That's not an exaggeration.
I'm 10. No, but no, that's so. What did you do before? Because I was thinking about this on the way here. I don't know if you told me you were 24, I'd believe it, and if you told me you were 28, I'd be like, I'd believe it as well. So
well, okay, that's better. But.
So I don't know. We could cut that out. But how old are you?
No, I don't care. No, it's all good. I'm 33.
Tell the people. 33. Oh no way.
I'm 33.
Damn. Okay. So what did you do prior to the lending?
So I've lived like 3 different professional lives since college.
That adds good perspective.
I studied finance in college, went into energy. So in energy, I was working under natural gas traders and writing reports for them. And so that was something I thought I would be interested in. So I took a lot of like energy-based courses in college, and when I got there, I just did not think it was cool at all. It's like, oh, I don't feel like my reports are actually meaningful to these guys. They're just making these trades with barely reading my report. Yeah. I'm like working my butt off trying to like put this together, and they go like, okay.
Yeah, right. And you're like, not fulfilling.
It wasn't. So that brought me to like early, almost mid-20s. And at that point, like I was like, you know what, let's just try to do something cool. And I went totally 180. I went into music. I moved to New York City, got a job at a talent agency, and was booking shows all around the country.
That's awesome.
And managing bands. And so I did that for like 4 to 5 years in New York City.
Wow.
And so that was super fun. Loved that.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Like to do that in my mid-20s, I have no regrets. But I was burning the wick at both ends, like night and day, every day. Not really making that much money, or if I did make some money, I'd spend it right away. Yeah. I mean, like it's real easy to be spending money in New York.
Oh.
And we had a good time with that. But then COVID hit. And so that's when I made the pivot to mortgage, because there was no more live events, right? We weren't partying. We were locked in.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. What do I do? And so I was looking around. No one's hiring because everyone's thinking the world's upside down. And then the interest rates, are hitting all-time lows. And so my uncle and my cousin are like drowning in business. They can't even keep up with it. And they're like, look, man, you haven't found something yet. Do you have a pulse? Can you talk to people? Like, because we need you.
Yeah.
All right, let's give this a shot.
Wow.
And it was off to the races since, because as soon as I started doing it, it was easy to learn the steps. There's so many regulations and stuff that you have to learn, but the structure of a deal is relatively simple. And so as soon as you kind of get that cadence and that progression, it's then about getting to know people and how you can help the people. And that's what I liked the best.
Yeah.
And even to this day, that's what keeps me going, is like I genuinely feel like I'm helping people.
So fulfilling.
It's really great. Yeah. It's more on the financial side for me. Like I'm looking at your credit, I'm looking at your income, your debts. I'm
Numbers
looking at,
guy.
Yeah, I'm looking at your savings and where you're keeping it. It's like really interesting to see all that. And if you're not in the best position, I really do feel like I'm helping these people, like guide them. I'm like, oh, you could probably. You should watch using this credit card versus that credit card, because that one's got a really high interest rate. And if you're carrying a balance, you should at least carry a balance over here, not over there.
Right. Yep.
Things like that to save people money.
Yeah.
Little things like that, and then bigger things, obviously.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome to know. I think it's the way that you have gotten into this business versus the way I have. I think those are both probably the 2 best ways you could have. I think what you did really adds a lot of perspective to really, going from nightlife, New York City, partying and booking shows to the lending. Perspective's everything. I think that's so cool. And then for me, just being so young, I think that's like one of my superpowers in the business, because all I know is real estate. I've known it it's been talked about at my kitchen table since I was, 10 years old, and then here we are. So it's cool, man. I love it. It makes me excited.
That's great.
It makes you excited too here.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. And like going through all of that life post college, It does give a perspective because I know what it's like to be totally broke.
So you can help. So those first time home buyers or people who even just aren't in the best financial situation, like you can relate to them on some level. When I'm sure,
100%.
well, I know my clients sometimes then another question is, how often do buyers call a lender before they call an agent?
Very rarely. I wish it was more.
That's something that I thought about because, it would be so much easier that way. I think the thing that is behind it and why it's so cool that you were able to relate to those people is because it's easier to talk to somebody like me, like, oh yeah, like I can send you houses and kind of give you the rundown on how the process works. But before we do anything, you got to send somebody your social security number and then your bank statements. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the biggest reason why. But that would totally flip the game.
Yeah.
That'd be really interesting. So
yeah, no, it's a great point because I try to bring those walls down. Like I want people to feel comfortable talking to me. But you're right. Like when people think of talking to a lender, they think I'm going to like run their credit on contact.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
Yeah, which why also, by the way. I mean, I don't know any other lenders, at least in our area, that are doing something like this. I think whenever somebody gets to see the side of you that's personable and just you, it makes them a lot more comfortable upon that first connection, right?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Because like the more transparent you can be, the better I can help you. Like I want to know all the nitty gritty because we can navigate it together.
Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you the mortgage perspective on the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's better that I know.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard a lot.
I can only imagine. What's one of the craziest things? I know obviously you can't share like what you've heard, but maybe craziest reasons you've had a deal fall apart. I got a good one for you afterwards. It just happened to me.
Really? Oh, geez. That a deal's falling apart.
Yeah.
So I think I've only had two. The second one's not really coming to mind right now, but the first one I probably will never forget because I was still really new in the industry. So I had a guy, he was self-employed. And so with self-employed buyers, we're looking at the tax returns for their income to qualify them. So, I'm looking at these tax returns, didn't think anything of it, get them pre-approved, go under contract, we're in processing. We do the background checks and the checks with the IRS and everything to make sure everything matches up. The guy hadn't filed his tax returns in years. So the tax returns that he gave me, he literally just made up.
Like on Canva or something?
I don't know. I guess.
That's crazy.
I kind of forget what they look like now because this was years ago.
Interesting.
But yeah, he gave me fake tax returns, which is so illegal.
Yeah.
Like forging documentation, not cool.
No.
And so the deal just completely fell apart. And then he got upset at me for losing his deposit. And I'm like, man, like, I can't help you when you're committing fraud. No. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You need a lawyer, buddy. That's what you need. He doesn't need, lenders. Yeah.
Insane, man. So I'll never forget that one because it was just such a weird thing where I hadn't experienced something like that. And the guy was so confident and like just didn't understand the severity of what he was doing, and like, there's all these parties that depend on this going through. Like the seller now has to relist the house, and I don't even remember what their situation was, but yeah. And then he's yelling at me on the phone about losing the deposit. I'm like, man, like this is crazy.
Yeah. So how do you handle something like that when you clearly know that you weren't in the wrong? And this has happened to me before as well. But yet again, that's part of what we do, being able to properly handle these frustrated people, because it is a big life event, right? When you're buying, selling, whatever it is. So how did you handle that and maybe make him take a step back and look at things the right way? Or was it just like a close the door, that's it?
I mean, it was a gentle closing of the door. Okay. Because like at the end of the day, I couldn't help him on another deal. Like it was dead in the water. The guy hadn't filed taxes in like 10 years. So, once that truth is out, and he's getting mad at me about the deposit, just like, look, man, I'm really sorry. It's unfortunate this is happening. I can't help you. We're writing a mortgage denial. Like, this is where it ends. Best of luck, because I don't want you to be homeless out here, but that's not going to be your home. Done.
And so if somebody does something like that, how do you ever bounce back from... Yeah, I mean, is it okay? That's not going to be something that comes up and gets flagged, but like you're still going to need another couple of years of your W-2s and stuff, right? For somebody him.
So technically, if he were to file all his tax returns and be current with the IRS, then we could write the loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like in
fraud or not, prior. I mean, it's not fraud if you don't get caught. I don't know.
You know what? Maybe don't quote me on that because I don't really know if there's other
this one
things.
right here. No,
yeah, I don't know if there's more to it than
to the
what
best
I'm
of your
thinking
knowledge
about.
right now.
To the best of my knowledge right now, you know, because I've had people rush to file tax returns while in processing.
Yeah.
It's not recommended. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Come to me prepared, or we can talk about getting you prepared.
Yeah.
But technically, you could speed file, and as long as the IRS accepts the tax returns, then we're good. You know, and as long as you don't owe the IRS money, because then we have to take that into account.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so in theory, maybe he could have swung it, but that would have been so much work.
Yeah.
10 years of tax returns, like that doesn't just happen.
Yeah, you need a lot. That takes a lot of time for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's get into your horror story.
Okay. Well, this one's we're still working through it a little bit.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
So this happened, I guess, last Thursday. My mom and I put a listing on the market down in Dover, Delaware. So, you know, I know you're licensed in a bunch of states. I'm just PA in Delaware, mainly PA. My mom handles more of the Delaware, but put this nice little rancher on the market, and 2 days later, we get under contract. We had like 3 offers in. We priced it really well for what it was, and there was inspection contingencies on the offer, but it was sale prices where really my seller was really happy with that.
Cool.
And 2 days go by, and we get a call from the buyer's agent, and they said, "Hey, I don't know if there's a really good way to tell you this, but my buyer, or my client, got arrested, and he's going to be in jail for another 6 months to a year.
Whoa.
So we're going to have to back out."
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Lord willingly, we were able to put it back on the market yesterday, and we already got another offer on it. So
Sweet.
We're making things right for the seller, but
Okay.
don't get arrested if you're under contract on a house that doesn't end well. That's for sure.
Try to keep it in line, man.
Yeah. And I don't know what the deal was, the name was, or anything, but we'll leave it at that. But that's an interesting one.
That is an interesting one.
Yeah.
You know, I actually helped somebody who was fresh out of jail.
Okay.
Yeah, they had been incarcerated for like 10 years. They got a job fresh out of jail, and we wrote a loan for them, for him to buy a house. Like he had been out like maybe 6 months.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's pretty
sweet.
Yeah, he did his time and learned there, and 6 months after. So
6 months.
How was he able to do that? Like with minimal proof of income, you get a lot of like what was that loan like?
Employment history. So everyone thinks that you have to have 2 years consecutive. That's not true. We can accept gaps, explainable gaps. So
Explainable
gaps. Yeah, that's a gray area. This was very explainable.
Sure.
Yeah. Pretty public.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we just mapped out his history, his work history from before his arrest, and then we closed the deal.
Okay.
No big deal. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was it his first house, or was it?
I think it was his first house.
Nice.
Yeah. So really cool moment.
That is cool.
It was
That's
cool.
one of those really fulfilling and rewarding. Was that in this area here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you still live are you still in Westchester?
I'm in Westchester right now. I'm actually moving to Phoenixville in about a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. How come?
I've been working on a house up there.
I've seen some of that. So what's going on? So you've done flips and everything in the past, right?
Not flips. So my strategy has been to buy a primary residence as often as I can, which is at least every 12 months. You have to live there for 12 months. That's the way the contract reads when you sign it. Mm-hmm. And then anytime after that, there's no language limiting you from moving on to the next one. So I've been trying to buy a house every year. That's like my goal.
That'll be good.
Yeah, and so this one, I did it with a renovation loan, 5% down renovation loan, conventional financing for anyone who knows. And it's been a process working on it because it was abandoned for years. It was on foreclosure. Ooh. Yeah, so it needs a lot of work, but it's coming together nicely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's another reason I kind of wanted to get into real estate, to do that flipping and this and that, and then I was like, I probably need some capital and some other things first.
It's capital intensive, man. Yeah.
So do you do most of the work yourself? Are you a handy guy, or?
Relatively, but I'm not doing electrical. I'm not doing plumbing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll do the cosmetic stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
If when you do the renovation loan, you have to hire out a third party to do the work. So I got a contractor that's handling all the big stuff, and I'm just like painting.
Yeah. Or if he needs a screwdriver, you hand it to him. Something like that.
Right. Yeah, just hold the light.
Right. He starts yelling at you.
Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So how many times have you done that now?
So the reno loan, this is my first experience, and it's been great because it's given me full insight to just what the client experience is like with that. And it's so easy. Like, as long as the numbers line up and you understand what you're getting into, those products are awesome. I highly recommend them.
Okay.
But then the normal purchases are easy. So I'm on house number 4 at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you rent them out after you move out?
Yeah.
Okay. And how is that? I don't deal with rentals much. And has it been hard for you to find client or people to rent typically, or?
Thankfully not. I am purposefully buying in towns that at least I like to be in, and that seems to be good. People also like to be in there.
Phoenixville, Westchester.
Places you can.
Not bad.
My thing is I want to be able to walk out the door and go get a beer. So if you meet that requirement, I'm around.
You can do that just about anywhere, right? I love that.
Westchester. I love Westchester. I would love to live there again.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it'll be Phoenixville for a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. I agree with that in the sense I grew up in lived in Kennett Square for the first 10 years of my life, and then went to Avon Grove High School and graduated over there. And I lived in a neighborhood with, half an acre lot and a little bit of privacy. And I was like, I never want to move, back into anything where you can walk and get a beer like that now. But now being my age, I live in Kennett. I live right in town off Cypress Street, and I can walk to a few different spots and get a beer whenever. So,
what do you think about Kennett?
I love it.
You love it?
I love it.
Because I've been thinking about Kennett.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, like, do you actually go out? Do you do nightlife stuff there? Restaurants? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I try not to. I try to stay away from the nightlife as much as possible.
Are you 21?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
How old are you?
I am 21. I turned 22 in June.
All right.
But yeah, so the nightlife, of course, I moved there. Like I said, I moved back there. Well, first, I lived there until I was 10. Then until I was 18, I lived in West Grove. And then I moved to Downingtown until I was 20 and just moved back to Kennett last year. Okay. So I'm there now and I love it. I always think about it as like a miniature Westchester.
Yeah.
There's not as much, bars, restaurants, all that sort of thing, but everything that they do have is very nice and it's top quality. And actually, market-wise there, that's one of the only towns in Chester County since quarter 4 of 2025 versus quarter 4 2024 actually went down in days on market by 2. So everything else went up. Westchester went up a little bit as a whole, but Kennett went down 2 days. So evidently it's still a good place to get in. So
yeah, we're seeing those trends of people pushing out farther and farther.
Yeah,
like I'm writing more loans in Pottstown, and then places around there because. Phoenixville is even getting competitive. Yeah. Westchester's obviously competitive. Like
Westchester's a different animal,
No doubt.
Yeah, so that's cool though. And you think that's just because, the farther you get, once you get out of, then you go to West Grove, then you go to Oxford if we're just looking west.
Right.
Is that because it's cheaper and district, but then what happens is now Kennett's becoming more expensive, and then it's just gonna follow down the chain. Is that how you think that'll go?
100%.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So how long do you think that'll take, and where's the up-and-coming town that we should get into now?
Well, I really like Kennett. I think that would be potentially one of my next targets.
Okay.
Because I like it. It's a cute town, man.
Yeah.
And I've been out there a couple times. I don't know it that well, but I've helped clients buy there. I've been there more than a handful of times, and it seems like a nice town.
Yeah, it's great. The people are nice, and it is such a small version of Westchester. I think you would love it. I live there, so you want to come crash, we'll do a night out. We'll show you the town and see what's up. But it's also cool because I try to focus in, Kennett, because that's where I live, and we'll have some other things I'll talk about that another time with what we're going to do there. But it's nice being able to walk to showings, I was able to walk to a listing appointment the other day, or I guess 2 weeks ago now, and that's a blessing right there. You know, it would be nice if it wasn't a foot of snow on the ground and everything, but
and like 10 degrees out.
Yeah, in the summer that'll be a lot cooler. But come down, man. Let me know. It'll be good. It'll be a good time.
I will let you know. Yeah, for sure. That's cool.
So you're in Westchester now. Where in Westchester are you at?
Yeah, Lenape Road, just outside downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you walk and get a beer from there?
No, cannot.
That's tough to put in the search criteria in the MLS.
It is.
When clients tell me
something. I don't
something.
see that on Zillow. I don't see that anywhere.
They should make that something right there. That's what we're going to do.
Fix that.
Yeah. Zillow, that's a whole nother. How do you feel about Zillow?
Zillow in general?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll stick to the finance side of it.
Sure.
So I compete with Zillow Home Loans, which is their lending branch, all the time, every day.
Are you seeing a lot of those?
I mean, I compete with them like almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're the in-house lender at the Remax where we had met, Remax Mainline, and they are one of the Zillow Premier teams. So they're fed a bunch of leads from Zillow, right? Like, and there's an expectation that Zillow Home Loans gets a crack at the lending side of the business, which is under investigation right now.
I did see that.
Because they're kind of walking the line right there.
Yep.
Which is not cool because at least for me, like we have an in-house and partnership relationship with that Remax and we want to be able to do business too. And then when I see Zillow Home Loans kind of fumble the deal and then now I have to pick it up, it's usually ugly at that point. And yeah, I mean, I've thankfully been able to save like a handful of deals that Zillow Home Loans drops on. But it's not pretty. Like they're a large entity with each loan officer doing so much. Like the beauty of working with somebody who's smaller scale like me is that I can actually give you the time that you need to make sure everything's going to go smooth. Because these guys are like just on to the next file, on to the next file, on to the next file. And a lot of times they're not even individually licensed. So like I'm individually licensed. I know the guidelines or I can check up on them because they're infinite and always changing. Mm-hmm. But like these guys don't know the guidelines. So they'll write a pre-approval letter and then they don't realize until underwriting that, you know, like something has to change or all of a sudden it's not going to work.
Right.
You know, so it's not good for the client really, because you never know if it's going to go through.
Yeah, that's it's one of those things. I had one time I had to sit in my office and wait for the lender to pay, send the payoff because they were in California, and that's just where the specific client wanted to. They liked the rate or the people or whatever, but it was so hard. Just one from a communication aspect. That's not even what you were touching on yet. With
true.
So why? So my two questions would be. So why do you see those deals fall apart? Is it just strictly the guidelines? And then why do people go with a Zillow lender rather than a local trusted one?
Two great questions. The reason these deals fall apart when they do is more so because of the guidelines.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, of course the time zone differential is a factor, but you can work around that.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but it's fine. But it comes down to the guidelines. Like the deals that I've had to pick up on were like when there's multiple streams of income or like just not a normal kind of W-2 type income, like self-employment type stuff, where these people, these loan officers just don't know the intricacies of how we have to look at that.
Yeah.
You know, they're using wrong averages or they're using multiple sources of income when they can only use one or stuff like that.
They're just Zillow employees probably, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Like this is what you're going to do from now on. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They probably have some AI tool helping them out with that. And
Probably. So yeah. So there's that. But then, why people choose to go with Zillow, I mean, they're just a big name, like they've heard it before. So it feels more comfortable going with Zillow Home Loans versus a company you've never heard of.
Right.
So it's really feet on the street that can make the difference. So like you and every agent that I work with, I'm always like, hey, like give me a shot. Like they might already have a pre-approval, but if you just let me have a conversation with them, if they're open to that conversation, we might be able to get along. I might be able to find a product that Zillow doesn't have. They'll feel more comfortable usually.
I can only imagine. Have you had those people that call you back or call you after they have a bad experience with this Zillow agent? or Zillow lender, is that something where they were just felt they didn't feel like they were communicated to enough, or they just they were just like didn't care about any of that until the deal actually fell apart. Then it's like, oh, well, they didn't talk to me, and
I think it's both. I mean, communication's so important. You have to be there to answer questions when they're coming up, especially for like first-time home buyers. They've never been through the process before, and silence can be kind of a killer.
Yeah.
You know, if you're making somebody wait 24, 48 hours before getting back to them or longer, that angst festers, you know, and like all of a sudden it becomes like it just comes out in weird ways.
Yeah.
And you don't want that.
No.
Yeah.
Yep. Is that something that I always say it amazes me, at least, the agents, the lenders that we run into in our business on a daily basis, I'm sure. Is that something, do you, some people, which blows my mind, they do, 9 to 5, and after 5 o'clock, they're not answering voicemails or whatever that is. Is that, I assume that's not how you roll,
That's
right?
not how I roll at all.
Good. What do you think about, I'm curious, we don't have to put this or whatever, but I don't know how some people expect to get the best results with that or have the happiest clients mainly, right?
Yeah, true. Like a lot of business gets done on the weekends. And I always tell people, like, premeditate, like figure out what you're doing before you're doing it. Don't find the house and fall in love with it and then go, oh, I need a mortgage, right? Like figure out the mortgage details first, because I will do a pre-approval on a Saturday night, but it doesn't have to be on a Saturday night. No. We could figure it out on a Tuesday afternoon.
This is what I'm seeing over the weekend.
Right.
Run the numbers,
exactly.
Baby, right?
Earlier the better always, but that kind of thing will come up, and you need somebody who's going to be able to do that and go the extra mile in those ways. Yeah. It's important.
Yeah. Just because it's so big for, it's something that you and I do every day, but, that's why it's so fulfilling and what we love to do, because these people, this is big. This is something, buying and selling real estate, something the average person does like 1 to 3 times in their life. Yeah. Or something like that, right?
Right.
So being able to, have things prepared like that is just, it's huge. Because we've had, one of the first things when I started with this is I saw a bunch of people working with banks. Which is big banks, which is great. But when I'm trying to call somebody on the weekends and I can't get anybody, and this deal has an offer deadline of 5 o'clock on Saturday, who are you gonna be mad at?
That's the problem,
Mr. or Mrs. Buyer,
Yeah.
So
and then you call DJ.
Yeah,
because like somebody pick up on a Saturday morning and be like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, you might have a beer in hand or whatever, but
Saturday morning maybe not.
No, Saturday
maybe
after
12. At least
noon. Not the morning. As soon as it's afternoon. But I just pulled this up. This is something that I saw on Zillow.
Okay.
I looked at this person's property the other day. I was curious. We'll definitely block all that out. But I'll show you too. It says it's $1 million property. It says get a cash offer in 3 minutes. Do you see that?
What?
Do you see that? Look at that.
Get a cash offer
in 3 minutes. So you're telling me I can click? That's not even my property, but maybe that'd be a great bit right there if we could hit that number and try to call it and see if we could get a cash offer on it.
Right? That's crazy.
Cash offer. Somebody. So sellers.
You seen
show them. So how much cash? If you're quoted at $1,100,000, how much cash you think that call in 3 minutes is going to give you?
Right.
Lucky to see $500,000, I'd say. Right.
Yeah. Right.
I saw that. Crazy. I was like. And that's another thing. I don't know if you saw, I do some skits with my Todd actor on my social media, and it's so true. A lot of most sellers are realistic, but some of them also, aren't, and they want to stick with that Zillow number, and Zillow can be 20 to 30% off either way on your home estimate, which is scary. So,
how often are you finding that, and what's like an average conversation like when you're trying to navigate it?
When somebody asks about
when you're trying to
you say my house is worth this and Zillow says this.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we can do is we run the comps exactly as an appraiser does it, right? And we always say there's no exact science to real estate, as there isn't to the stock market or whatever there is, right? So when we price somebody's home, then in any given area, there's a 72% chance that it's going to have to appraise. So 28% of homes are bought cash, I think it is. Okay. So we run the numbers exactly as an appraiser does, and we say, look, here's what we're going to do from you from a marketing standpoint, and nobody's going to outmarket us, right? And here's what we see in the market. And probably what the person who buys your home is looking at this too. So based on these, this is where we think we should list your home. And some people, are just bottom line fixated, and the market speaks really quickly a lot of times. I always ended up saying, you're the boss, so we'll do whatever you're comfortable with, but here's the numbers. This is what we think. And we only ask that if 2 weeks go by or 10 days go by and we haven't had the activity that we're looking for, then it comes down to the 3 most important things in real estate. I made a video about that too, but do you know what they are?
Hit me.
Yeah, so this is something we go over with all of our sellers, and we always say it used to be location, right? But that's not the case anymore. Once buyers determine their location, that drops to number 3.
Okay.
Number 1 is price, always, and number 2 is condition. So another thing that we do when we run the comps with our sellers is we print out or sometimes bring our laptop and show them all the pictures. So that way, not only do they have an idea of the size and the style of the home, the price that it's sold for, but the condition. So now we got the location, the price, and the condition. So if you're not going to, and I understand, some people need X amount to move out of here, but we really just try to give them all the evidence we can. Our sellers are the boss at the end of the day, and here are the numbers. So
I love that. I think people need to see that like tangible evidence to make the decision. I think that's really great.
Yep. But that's probably out of 10 sellers, we get it maybe not as much as you think, probably 20, 30%, of people are like that. Because what we do notice is when people do what we suggest to get their home show ready, as well as listen to our price, and then we turn on our marketing machine and let it go to work, that almost every time it's predictable what's going to happen, So based on whether it's Kennett, Westchester, the beach, whatever it is,
right.
If you the formula, it's not too complicated, it's not overcomplicated, but it's definitely situational. And if we can nail all those things and the seller's open to it, then it's very, very hard to lose.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Ryan, how are we doing on time? Ready to wrap up?
Damn.
Let's do. See,
dude,
I told you.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at the list.
I didn't. Yeah.
Let's do.
A deal together?
We have not.
No.
Okay.
Soon. Yeah.
No,
We can make something up.
Let's do the rapid fire round because I
Yeah.
think that's easy content, and I'm actually curious how you answer these.
All right. Let's do it. So do we need to have a start with that or?
Rapid fire real estate round.
Let's do it, baby.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to rumble.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. What is the hottest town around here?
I mean, the hottest town around here has got to be Westchester.
Westchester?
I'm sure. I don't know if you asked anybody else that, but not just from a market perspective as, how quick houses are selling or whatever, but everybody I talk to either goes there for nightlife, for dinners, or, eventually do want to move there, as we just talked about. So I think I'd have to say Westchester for sure. Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yep.
Okay. What town is overrated?
It's a great question. I don't think any town is overrated because it's
Political
all
answer.
Yeah.
Political answer.
Whatever works best for you. But I will say this, and I don't know. Sorry if anybody lives in Glen Mills, and I don't know what we want to put out here, but that's one of the only counties. Which I love Glen Mills. It's beautiful. Disclaimer, but I forget the exact number, but the average days on market is up 136% from last year.
Really?
So I'm not saying I wouldn't live there.
Yeah.
But evidently, homes are sitting longer on the market now. So
that's wild. I grew up in Glen Mills.
Did you really?
Yes.
I think it's beautiful.
Right by the golf course. And it wasn't that fancy. It was all farmland when I was growing up. So, I'm running through cornfields to get to certain friends' homes and stuff.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been wild to see the come up of Glen Mills,
Yeah.
but I've literally had multiple people ask me yo, what is in the water in Glen Mills? Why is it so hot here?
Here we go. Now we're talking.
Honestly, man, that tracks.
Yeah.
That
Isn't
tracks.
that weird though?
Yeah.
I saw that because I was looking the other day and I was like, no way that's right. The average days on market went from like I said, Kennett last year was 21. Now it's 19. The Westchester was 16 last year. Now it's 20. Glen Mills was 22 last year. Now it's 86.
Holy crap.
I mean, obviously there's some that, sell in a few days, I'm sure, when they're priced in good relation to their condition.
Right.
But there's a lot of them that are sitting right now. So
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That was a great one. All right. What home feature is overrated?
whatever one you can't afford, I guess. But I'm not I'm not a big fan of the that's a good question. I guess I'm not a fan of the if you're really getting into it, the wine cellars or the real fancy stuff. I mean, it all comes down. If we all had $100 million in the bank, there's no overrated home feature, but sometimes people will really fall in love with a house for maybe a reason they shouldn't, So I think things that are the shiny penny, whatever that may be of the house. So
I kind of agree. Yeah. Like, it's almost like keeping a library full of books. You're really going to read all those books?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're really going to drink all that wine and like restock it?
Calling me.
Right.
Yeah.
Where's my invite?
Yeah, but the overrated home feature is the one you can't afford. I think that's the short answer.
I think it's a great answer. Yeah. Okay. What should first-time home buyers stop worrying about?
First-time home buyers should stop trying to find the exact perfect fit.
Okay.
I think the first time, I mean, I understand wanting the perfect fit in the forever home, but realistically, I don't know the percentage on, which is something I'm going to look up now, but how many people the first home they buy and do they stay there their whole life? Yeah. I think that's a first-time home. Your first home that you buy is a good opportunity to learn, build some equity, and whether you have a family or you don't, whatever it is, things are most likely going to change over the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years where you probably maybe keep it and rent it out or whatever it is. But I think you want to find something that's right for you at the time that you're at. Yeah. Not your perfect forever home. That's right. I think and be decisive. I think it's a big one.
I love that answer. That's great. Okay. What is the worst real estate myth out there?
Worst real estate myth. I don't know about real estate myth. I can tell you a realtor myth, though, that everybody, people, unless you're really into the real estate game, I think a lot of people are, just think realtors are making all this money. You're making 6% of every home sale when they don't know how that properly gets split up. Of course, Uncle Sam gets his piece. If you're selling, there's marketing, the other broker, all that sort of stuff. So I think it's a big misconception that realtors make, all this money. Don't get me wrong. It's good if you work hard and have the right, business structure for sure, but it's not peaches and cream. You make 6 to 10% every single deal that you do, and you're golfing during the day. It's not how it goes. Yeah. I think but other real estate market wise or anything, I guess I can't think of one at the moment. Yeah,
I think that's a good one right there. Because I mean, how often do you get crazy reactions from people who want to list their home? Yeah, it's like, all right, we're asking for 6%. Yeah, and they're going like, what?
Right. Yeah. Like, well, I guess it's I guess the same in any sales industry, but value or commission's only a question if you're lacking value. Yeah. Right. So we always hope to put that question off till after we can, understand them and tell them what we want to say. And I mean, yet again, there's always those one-off people who really don't care and they're very money focused. They're money focused and not whole outcome focused. Right. But yeah, value's got to be there, and pray to God that we don't have that conversation, right? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, that's great. I love that one. Okay. We maybe already touched on this, but if you could try to condense it, what is your favorite part of this job? My favorite part of this job is my favorite part of the job is I love doing talking to people and doing social media stuff. I've always loved, I don't think I mentioned it, but I grew up managing this restaurant throughout high school. And so I was serving, talking to people all the time, played quarterback there. That was all communication. So being able to practice an art that I love every day and, continuously getting better at it is definitely my favorite part. And I always think every conversation you have is just another opportunity to practice your communication skills. So being able to talk with good people, make new connections, and help buyers and sellers get the best outcome. Yeah,
I love it.
It's a hard thing and question to put into one. I know one thing.
I know. Yeah, I know. These are tough.
Maybe I'll put it this way: meet a lot of good golf partners. Is that
sure?
There we go.
Okay, love it. All right. And oh man, this is all right. Let me try to ask this in the right way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what do you think is the one action or mindset or thing that you feel has gotten you to where you are now in your career, to narrow it down? I don't mean in life in general.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, first, my relationship with God is the biggest one. But really having the right people in life is number two. And then, like I said, I'm a passionate and, real emotional guy, and being able to take that from the team aspect and playing football to this now, it was like when I got my license when I was 18, it was like there was no question of if this was going to work out. I don't need no plan B, not needed. I said I'm going all in on this and it's going to work. And Lord willingly, with the right people, the right mentors, it was a recipe for success to begin with. So I think just you got to have the right people. And then from a mindset thing is just, this is the only option. That's it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's the rapid fire round right there.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Guys, episode 3 of Business in the Front. Thank you for tuning in.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Thanks for having me, DJ.
Dude, of course,
That was awesome. We'll have to do that again for sure.